episode number 216 with Steve and Mike. Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
Hello, Steven. It's Mike.
How are we doing, Mikey?
Pretty good.
Right on.
My dad died, as you know, a few weeks ago, I guess 8 days ago. So out east, and then, what can you do? Back home and grinding hard.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you had a big life event.
Yeah. My dad's 78. I guess he's got a good life. I wish the damn guy took better care of himself. He was, even after 2 open heart surgeries and, his heart totally compromised, he was still smoking at the end.
Wow.
My mother said, if you smoke, I'm leaving you. And when we knew he was running off and kind of having cigarettes, and we found his secret stash in the back of his vehicle.
Yeah.
Under a floorboard. My mother was kind of amused by it, but, he was riding his boat around 2 days before he died. And so he kind of was good to the end for the most part. I mean, he was kind of, when I saw him in the hospital after his second heart surgery, he kind of just, I asked him how he's doing. He's like, well, long term, he just turned his hand over with a thumb down.
Okay.
But he's like, I know what mortality is. I mean, he was kind of, I don't know, he was kind of a Buddhist. Me and my sister were talking about this a lot. He was lived life properly, and a great dad, of course. Great husband, great son.
But what do you mean his Buddhist mentality? Like kind of Zen-like almost, or?
Yeah, I think he wasn't as scared to death as other people, maybe. Like it's just part of the circle of life kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the way to put it, but yeah, he was very committed to, at the end, still enjoying, let's put it this way, still enjoying his dog and still enjoying flowers or doing, woodworking and all the things he likes to do.
The things he enjoyed.
So, obviously I've rushed out to the East Coast, and he's been such a survivor throughout his health. It didn't really occur to me how urgent it was, really.
Yeah.
My brother's like, you want to come out here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I got there and got to say my goodbyes, and, that's about it. We pretty much, I think they were kind of holding this. They tried some desperate his heart wasn't working, pretty much, just barely pumping. So this leads to just a total renal breakdown. The internal organs like to have blood pumping.
And renal breakdown, you mean his kidneys were failing?
Yeah, the kidneys were failing, but liver, but pretty much, I mean, the second he went in the hospital, they said, listen, this is kind of near the end. But they did put a balloon like in his leg kind of to keep the blood pumping, and let's give it 24 hours, and there was no improvement. And pretty much the decision had kind of already been made that there's nothing can be done here. And they were kind of waiting for me to arrive, I think, to have the official meeting with the doctor saying we're taking him off life support. And we all stayed. All 4 of us were at his bedside and holding his hand and telling him how much we loved him every time he's in. I don't know. I guess it's kind of get into it. I think medicine handles these situations much better maybe than they do. They know like the exact. They gave him some painkillers because he hadn't basically slept for like 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
And so he was he was finally sleeping in a nice deep sleep. And of course it's horrible to watch because every few minutes he's kind of gasping for air. I don't want to talk about the end. It's kind of terrible. But like I said, even at the end where he had like kind of, you're half dementia because you're just not sleeping. He's in a lot of pain. But even then, like you hear about these situations with, elderly people at the end are like, screaming for lost loved ones and the devil's trying to get me and horrible. And he was boating for most of the time. It was kind of sad because he thought he was in the hull of a ship and he wanted to get up top and, hold the wheel. It was one of those things. It was one of those things. If it was in a play, people would think this was like a literary convention.
Yeah.
But it is kind of, still kind of given away, but kind of accepting that he was down there. And then he was working in his garage for a while. He's like, hand me the tools. He was getting kind of frustrated, but somebody was supposed to be helping him, but he wasn't. So even at the end, he was kind of doing sort of what he wanted. And,
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. It's
I'm actually kind of teared up right now as you're talking about that. That's
Yeah, I mean, this is the arc we all go through here. You know what I mean? So yeah, we all have to deal with it. It's, but I cried for a few days, and I got a good family. I got along with my brother and sister. I was kind of thinking about that too. It's like, I think a lot of these funerals are like, have a lot of drama for other reasons. Siblings who haven't seen each other forever.
Yeah.
Maybe little family conflicts, or somebody's fighting for money, or this, that, the other thing, or that. We were all together for
none of that. Yeah.
Celebrating my dad, and I guess you could say, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I had a religious. My brother's kind of religious.
Mm-hmm. What religion?
He's into all of them. Well, not really. I guess he goes to church. His wife is Christian, but he still likes a lot of the Jewish tradition.
Okay.
I guess would put it. And he was just kind of, I don't know. He's much as like, this is a celebration of his life, and he'll be looking down on us kind of stuff. And I've kind of felt that way a little bit here. Maybe it's just not to deal with
interesting
situation that my dad's watching me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve. That's about it. And you gotta worry about my mother a little bit here. She's been living with the man for 49 years.
How old is she?
She is 71.
Oh, he liked the younger women.
So he's,
I can relate.
He was a college professor, and she was a student when they met, but she wasn't his student.
Oh, interesting.
But, yeah, but she's tough. But you know what I mean? That's just
yeah, for almost 50 years together.
Right.
That's
just like basic stuff. Like I'm like, it's time for you to get like an Apple Watch. So if you fall down the stairs when you're doing the laundry here,
yeah,
someone can get you.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they like in I'm trying to remember, are they in like a big city, or are they a little more rural, or?
No, this was rural Maine, although we wanted to bring my dad down to go in the same plot, Jewish cemetery, with his parents. So we had the body moved down to Connecticut, drove down there.
Okay. That what was he like growing up as a kid, like from when you were a little kid till like what was he like?
I don't know, Steve. Yeah, I don't know, just a very, like, let's put it this way. I've never heard the man raise his voice.
Interesting.
So me and my brother are kind of, he's never spoken ill of another people. He had definitely a very strong philosophic air. You know what I mean? Kind of. Never heard him raise his voice to my mother. You know what I mean? Just, a gentleman. I think how you would describe him, probably.
Just always cool.
Yeah, just a good, he's very proud of his kids, obviously, even though he worked ridiculous amount of hours when I was growing up, probably 70, 80 hours a week sometimes. He owned his own business, a wooden toy store. And of course, he never missed one of my basketball games. Was very proud.
Interesting.
But I don't know, Steve, how your parents are probably or younger. Have they had any major health issues so far? Are they kicking strong Barton style?
Well, my dad's the one I'm worried about. My mom's doing good. She eats healthier than him. She goes for walks every day, and they both health-wise smoked. They got married when they were 19, and they both smoked until they were my mom was probably 40. I remember she quit. And then my dad, he smoked up until a few years ago.
Okay.
But he quit cold turkey, and he hasn't since, and it's quite impressive. But for him, what it took was getting diagnosed with emphysema. Okay. And then he was done. My number one concern with him is honestly his diet. It's man just loves his sugar and carbs,
Right. Heart attack waiting to happen.
Oh,
have you made him watch? Maybe that should be Carlos's new like job. He does like a shock treatment for like food people. He just, hey, guess what? Steve told me to come by. He comes in with his charts and stuff, and some pictures of like diseased hearts and all this kind of stuff. At the end of it all, he whips you up a nice little spring salad, and you all have a nice, delightful dinner.
Yeah, exactly. He has the attitude that, I've eaten this my whole life, and I've I was always skinny, and now he's just got a big pot belly that's like rock hard, which I know is a, textbook clogged arteries, just bad, stroke, heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah, you don't even, I mean, even my father before his second heart attack, he's like a couple days, like my mother's like after, well, there's a couple days where he was kind of having trouble breathing, but refused to go to the hospital and finally woke up in the middle of the night gasping, and they bring, it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, psychologically, you just don't want to see yourself as sick. Or, you just don't have to deal with it. But yeah, man, that's not good. Got to tell the old bastard to take care of himself here. I mean, what the hell, man? Does your brother have kids?
No, he's snipped like me.
Well, Jesus, man, this is one of the reasons you got to have kids is for grandparents. Circle of life stuff. They're not upset about that at all.
For a while, my mom's never really talked about it. I think she just kind of accepted it and was like, okay. And but my dad, for a long time, he about twice a year, he would bring it up somehow, like, well, I've been saving these coins since I was a teenager, and, I was going to pass them on to you and pass them on to your kids, but since you're not going to have kids. And then I was like, finally, one time I was like, I actually went through a therapy session with it. I went up to him and I was like, when he mentioned it, I was like, I just like, you got to let it go. Like, I'm just not going to have kids. I don't want to. That's just not the path I'm on. And then he was like, you know what? You're right, man. That was years ago, and he's never brought it up since. And it,
yeah, but that is like one of the things when I was kind of debating whether to have a kid. My pregnancy with Meredith was kind of planned, and I was worried about. I wanted my mom to have grandkids. She was talking about that. Now she's got 6 of them.
Okay. So, yeah.
But yeah, that is strange that, maybe we've uncovered a little weirdness in the Barton family here. I don't know. I don't know when you get it, but I mean, how many men have had vasectomies? I mean, I'm going to guess.
Well,
we probably could look that
in
up.
My family, you mean? Or?
Well, I've never met anyone who's had a vasectomy, and now there's brothers who have it. Like, that's interesting. I don't know.
My uncle had it too. My dad's brother.
Maybe he was like an inspiration. Was he always showing up at family events with college pussy when he's 40 years old?
He got it when he was 20. I got it when I was
little Stevie since age 5 is like, I want to be a fireman, and then finally he sees this as I want to be a fireman without children. You saw the path.
He got it for different reasons. He was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and he didn't think he was going to live that long. But now he's 6. He's in his. How old's my dad? I think my dad's almost 70. So he's probably 66, 67. My uncle, and a weightlifter. You would never know that he's got Crohn's or anything. I don't know. Maybe a part of that was I guess I kind of always did look up to him, and maybe that had a little influence on me or something. I don't know. I think my brother may have followed my lead. But I don't believe that he regrets it at all. It doesn't seem like it one bit. I know for me, when I got it, I felt an extreme relief. Like instantly right after the surgery, and it was like, okay, that decision has been made, and it's kind of a relief because now I can focus on whatever I want, like that's done. And my uncle said the same thing. I talked to him afterwards about it, and he said he was describing how he felt, and I'm like, fucking hey, that is spot on exactly how I felt.
Right.
But
okay.
Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think you've never walked in the park or whatever, seen someone with their kids and just felt like a little pang of desire, seeing wow, that is true happiness. I mean, nothing like that. Never.
I mean, maybe for a brief second, but then I'm like, imagine all the countries I won't see. Imagine all the, I would never trade that,
Right.
I can do whatever the fuck I want, whenever I want. I literally wake up in the morning. I'm like, well, Steve, what do you want to do? And as soon as you have a child, that just goes away. And maybe if I had one, I would be glad. And I would think, man, I never knew what I was missing out on. But I tell you what, man, ignorance is bliss. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really wouldn't.
Well, that's true, Steve. You are happy. That's the bottom line. You're a model of happiness.
It's yeah, life is short. I see it all the time at work.
Right.
And you just never know when your time is coming. And if you ain't having fun, what's the point?
Right.
I've seen people die from driving in their cars, and a tree literally falls on their car and kills them. I've seen that 3 times in 20 years. Like, just okay. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The most random shit. Death does not care your age. It does not care who you are, your wealth, or any of that shit. If it's your time, it's your time.
Well, death is pausing in front of me. It wants to see if I'm going to make something of my life before it's the big dirt nap. But
no. Yeah. No, this is an interesting show. I was thinking that. Yeah, I think I'm going to be going through what you went through. Sooner rather than, I could be wrong. I shouldn't even think about it, but it's going to be tough when my folks go.
It's awful. I don't know. Again, with my dad, he was just starting to have, he got a hearing aid a couple of years ago, and now he had some degenerative kind of eye disease, which was kicking in where he wasn't supposed to drive at night.
Okay.
So there's things which, I mean, it's probably, I guess it's best here if you want to try to comfort yourself at some point here. And then, I'm sorry, it's still babbling about my dad there. I don't know. What's going on? What's going on with you, Stevie here? Give me some chick news.
Oh, chick news. Okay. What do we got? I've been hitting the Tinder, the Bumble, the Plenty of Fish. What's the other one? Hinge. Those are the ones that are popular in my area. I've noticed that the game with these things is to find out wherever you're located, whether you're located in Central America or Europe or Australia, find out which, if you're single or recently on the market, find out which of these dating apps is popular in your area, and you can filter them to be, and get on all the popular ones as you can, because oftentimes girls will be on 2 of them. They'll be on one and then another. You see some of the same photos. Find out what your most successful photos are, and then just throw them on each one of those. And you basically, the most time efficient way to do it is, I've found, spend however long it takes to run through all the profiles in your area within, I got them on, I think, a 15-mile radius or 20-mile radius. And then just swipe right or left fast as you can until you get through them all. And then usually you get a hit, maybe 2 every day to day and a half, something like that. And so it's just a numbers thing.
What's your introductory little message? Do you make, I like your pics, and then you try to come up with a specific question about, hey, is that Athens there, or whatever? Hey, was that the Super Bowl you went to, or something?
Yeah, there are ones like that, and that that will work. Basically what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for something that the 2 of us have in common. So if I see her, the most obvious one would be at a poker table.
Okay.
Right? Then that'd be easy. If I see her running, I've gotten into running recently. I signed up for a half and then a full marathon, and then I'm going to comment on something on that. If
you see her carrying a dead Colombian woman in her arms, you're like, whoa.
I'm like, hey,
we are made for each other.
I got a job for you, sweetheart. Whatever it is, if they're gardening or just anything that we have a common interest in, then I'll comment something on that. Sometimes, if there's a particular photo that I'm like, wow, this girl is really beautiful, then I'll comment on that, and I'll, say, you look really pretty here, and I like the way that, the flower in your hair matches the bracelet on your wrist, or whatever it is specifically that I find pretty about her in that picture. And ironically, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that seems to be the most successful one. Maybe I need to do that more. But
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of the game. Then from there, it opens up this avenue of being able to text back and forth. You know,
Of course,
if
yeah.
you send out this compliment or, you know, comment or like or whatever the thing is on your app, then at that point they may link up and say, you know, now the two of you have the ability to essentially text each other without each other's phone number, but
Right.
just through this app, you know. And so from there, I just try in the back of my mind, what I'm thinking is I need to get their phone number as fast as humanly possible, because probably out, if you take 100 girls where you are able to chat now, only one out of maybe 20 out of those 100 will actually give you their phone number. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an ego thing, or maybe they look back over your profile and they see something. They're like, oh, he's 5'10". I only date guys that are 6 foot tall, or whatever it is. Or maybe she starts talking to her ex-boyfriend again, and it just goes, you know.
Or this guy's smile is creepy as shit. Did this asshole really talk about almost crashing a plane? No, thank you.
Yeah, whatever it is. So of those ones, in the back of my mind, my game is to basically get their phone number, because you can get into this texting love affair, and then as soon as you get them on the phone, you realize within 3 minutes that, wow, this girl is not my type at all. It's a time thing. You know, you want to get them on the phone as soon as possible and talk to them, because within a few minutes you can kind of get a gist whether this is someone that you like or not, you know. And if it turns out that you end up talking for an hour or whatever, then you realize, okay, well, maybe we should meet for coffee. But you got to go, out of 100 girls, you got to go through 85 before you get to the
Right.
15 that is worth a Starbucks date.
Right. I do like your thing, reflecting back, by the way. I don't know if you still use this. You said your first date should always be fast, and you're the one exiting, making her think like, you know, like something, you know, I'm sorry, it's only 20 minutes. I'm really happy to meet you. I'd love to see you again, but blah, blah, blah. And you're the one who's cutting out of there.
There is something to that. Yeah. I don't do that as much anymore. Like, I may make it like an hour, or, but I think, you know, and I mean, unless it's going really good, then you can just stay there for a while. But if it's someone that's kind of intriguing, but, you know, there is something to, like, you know, I kind of have to go, and it leaves them wanting a little more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's kind of an art to recognizing that moment, you know?
Sure.
Before it gets to the point to where it's like, we're running out of things to talk about, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a, yeah, there is something to that.
Imagine if I started my own dating site, Steve. I'd be arrested pretty soon, right? People would see this as something like the questionnaire you have to answer. Name 3 people you like to kill.
I was thinking you
Talk
would
about
just
the
be the
different
only
reasons
one.
your parents have disappointed you. You know, I don't know.
You would be the only one on your own dating site. It would be like Date Mikey, you know, all women can apply, but you're the only guy.
I like that. What's wrong with this
Guys
app?
go to apply and there's just no application button.
This looks like the same guy with the fake mustache. There's 50 profiles here, but they all seem eerily similar. You got to come up with a name for it. Walk the plank dating or something. I don't know.
Adventures in Mikey.
I really think, Steve, I have come up with a solution here. For I told you I'm done with women. Like, it's hard to do that. So I kind of do that with my ex. I kind of told you that I'm like holding it out for her, and, you know, yeah, pretty obsessively. But I kind of picked a woman there that I get to see. I get to that I've just sort of happened organically, but kind of that I'm in love with. I'm going to put it like the quotation marks, but is just, you know, out of my league, and I'm not going to make any effort at all. So, you know, I'm keeping my heart and soul limber. Does that make sense, Steve?
Are you talking about your ex that is your son's mom?
No, the other one I said who I needed. You know, I was trying to, like, Elliot tried to help me forget her, and, you know, I just
okay.
You know,
Okay.
like, there's all, you know, the one that was from way back. But anyway, Steve, that's my plan here. You gotta, you know, I have a whatever chemical personal desire to be in love. You know, it's like love addiction, like I said. But this time, I can just have the feeling, but without altering my sort of daily life or behavior. That's that's the brilliant thing I've come up with, Steve. To be in love with a woman, to be in love with a woman who's totally disinterested in you. I know to you sounds kind of silly, but for me, this is the way, dude. at least temporarily. Maybe I'll get out there again. I don't know.
I might have a bit of that too. I am definitely looking for a love. It's fun when you're in love, and it's fun to have someone that just kind of accepts you for who you are, and that's it. And
that would be another question on my dating site. Have you ever considered poisoning someone you've been dating? Like, what method would you use so that, like, the other person can have a heads up? Bludgeoning. Good. Yes. I'll wear my bike helmet to bed now.
Yes.
Eat the first couple blows. No. The thing is, the couple times I got the one buddy, I think I've said I've gone out. It's just like bars are really depressing to me. Like anyone who's like my age or whatever in a bar, it's just who's kind of obviously looking for someone, or even slightly. It's just, I don't know. It's just a sad scene, man. But
it's definitely the younger crowd.
Yeah, but funny, I got this one guy I'm always listening to, and he doesn't like drink or go out at night. He's been that's just kind of the way he is. But he's really good at his day game, like all the time. Like he's like super fit and running, doing all this stuff, but he'll just do those, whatever cold approaches or, like just right in the middle of the day. And like,
he's in person.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, he does the online dating too, but that's, like I said, that's kind of weird that like at night he would be totally lost, but during the day, just going up to, any woman, any, approaching at the gas station or anywhere, he's totally comfortable. But he's like, at night, I wouldn't know what to do, man. Pretty weird, because that seems to be where obviously the easy time, women drinking in bars.
Well, not for him.
Right.
His day game. Interesting. Well, that makes sense too, because, he doesn't like going out and drinking at bars. So women that do that probably aren't his type, and he's not attracted to them.
Right. Well, but like I said, if I were to adjust, look for one, just to give myself the little start a conversation a day. It doesn't even have to be with a woman, it could be with anybody. You know what I mean? Just to keep my social skills slightly better than terrible. But I don't know, Steve. Like I said, at this point, I don't really care. Just talking.
What would interest you more, doing it during the day or doing it on these online apps? I'm starting to think I need to go back to doing it during the day.
I think, maybe I hold out but like, there's a lot of women who like I start a conversation with where I'm not even like, I think in a live setting, I would do much better.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I would just come across as funnier and friendlier than maybe I can make myself be. And, I'm tall. There's other stuff that is just, basically I don't seem to, one-on-one, I can still get like quite a bit more women than I can online, I guess. Plus there's much more, the ratio of women to men online is very much in favor of the women. They have a lot more choices. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think or know that.
I think I heard it was twice as many men as women.
Holy shit. Okay. I didn't wow, we got a lot of competition.
And of course, it doesn't, every goddamn penniless middle-aged man is still writing the hot 26-year-old too. So, they're just so inundated.
That's a good point.
But like the only one I use, because it's perfect for my passive nature, I guess, with this, is I still will get on Bumble and swipe. And then I still probably get, 2 or 3 people who we match, and they, 1 or 2 people who write me a week. And mostly I'm just swiping left, or the ones who like me, I just what can I say, man? I guess I hate to be discriminatory. I just don't like 45-year-old women who are 40 pounds overweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is probably what I should be looking at.
No. If you're not attracted to him, dude, just swipe left. It ain't worth your time. You'll end up meeting him for coffee, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? It's just a waste of time.
It's funny, when I was in Maine, I did get on the app real quick and just looked, and like 18 different women had liked me that I could have swiped, which is just kind of funny because it's Maine. Like in San Diego, I've done so much swiping, that the people if the women are going to find, like a couple women find me a week as the.
Yeah.
diamond in the rough, maybe. But in Maine, there was just like, they're all like, oh my God, yeah. There's just fewer faces and names there. So for all the lonely people in the world, any one person shows up and it's like, a frenzy of possibility.
Yeah.
See, Steve, that to me is sad. This is my melancholy nature, and in essence, most people would not see anything sad or lonely in that. But to me, the poor overweight women of Maine, man, what can I say?
You know what isn't really nice about those apps is, I guess as I'm getting older, I kind of have a much better idea of what I'm looking for and what I want. And you can, out of 10 girls, you probably swipe left on 11 of them, maybe. I'm sorry, out of 10, that doesn't even make sense. Out of 10 girls, you probably swipe left on 9 of them, maybe 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And a lot of what, things that you could meet a girl in person out at, the grocery store or whatever, that would take a while to get to this, you can find out instantly. And for me, that is, she doesn't have kids and she doesn't want kids. And that's some of the criteria in some of these apps. And so you can instantly recognize, like, this will never work. This will never work. You know what I mean? And then like, she also doesn't have kids and doesn't want kids. Am I attracted to her? She's pretty cute, right? You know what I mean? So, but you got to go through 19 no's before you get to a yes. But in the real world, you'd have to do the same thing, but it'd take you a lot longer than just quickly within a second and a half deciding, Right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, well, no, I mean, maybe this is the poker player in me that feels like I can recognize people pretty quick, but I'll look at a picture of a woman. I'm like, oh Christ, she's high maintenance.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can notice pretty quick. It's like, oh dear, this woman will be she can't entertain herself.
Yeah. She's going to take 2.5 hours every morning to go out anywhere.
Well, yeah, that. And she's, she just, I can't come home and just watch a basketball game because she's going to be, yeah, basically it's just the amount of people that I could connect with. Like I said, I'm making no compromises.
Good.
In terms of, what I do for a living and how I schedule my life here. So that's, I was thinking about this the other day, Steve. If I really wanted to, and you could probably, with your positivity, I could like set my life here. It's kind of a cautionary tale on a certain level of just failure. But I feel like I've made it, man. The more I think about it, I mean, considering kind of what I am and my addiction and mental health issues and everything, and just the fact that I'm standing where I am, with a kid making a good living, or potential in a good living, it's everything. It's like, wow, man. This is, I don't want to be too happy about it because the next day is when I find the tumor in my head. You know what I mean? It's kind of I don't want to let the world know that I'm all of a sudden I'm having these visions of.
No, I was going to say I'm very impressed, Mikey. I mean, we started this, I believe, back in December of 2014, and here we are almost 5 years later. And you were a postal worker, and you'd just come out to California, and you just wanted to play cards, and you've been doing it. Right. And you did it for your son. And I think it's neat that, you've coached his basketball team and you watch him go play just like your dad did with you. And you're a successful father and a successful professional poker player. I mean, you're doing it.
That's funny how I didn't even really, I mean, I am of course doing it for my son. I want to leave him some money too if something happens. I'm not like a total loser, but someone at the casino was saying that. She's like, does your son know how hard you work?
Yeah.
For him, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta let him know. That's not just joking around, because I do kind of a light jokey, whatever you do, don't play poker for a living. But yeah, it is. There's many days, believe me, where I got to learn. The 2 a.m. is the magic time. I think I've talked where, regardless of how good the game is now, it's just I'm tired and I got to get the fuck out of there. And I've got to. But I do push through a fair amount when I'm tired and that kind of thing, just because I got bills to pay and I'm trying to get ahead.
Yeah. I mean, let's say you didn't have your son in Southern California, you'd still be a monkey pushing buttons with the post office in Maine, right?
In Connecticut, yeah.
Or Connecticut?
It wouldn't be so hard. Well, now that I'm in I told you I had a transfer set for California, and my Hitler postmaster didn't let it go through. So I would love to be a mailman in California, but since that option was no longer available, then I don't miss the snow. Let's put it that way for sure. Yeah. Although I actually saw one of my postal buddies for the first time in 5 years when I was down there. I made a quick meeting when I was in Connecticut to go.
Oh, cool.
See my buddy Jim. So that was kind of nice. What else was I going to say, Steve? I thought I had one more comment on the pickup stuff. Oh, how about this one, Steve? What'd be a good way? The obvious one, when I walk on the beach every morning, maybe this is, I do think there's people are just being social, but there's women who are like, oh, there's women who just smile and say hi. And there's a few women who kind of give you the glance for a little bit. It's like, that was an opportunity for a pickup there.
Yeah.
Say something. But you're walking in the opposite direction. Obviously, the women who are running, you're not going to stop or, let me see. If they got a dog, that's a real easy one to start a conversation with.
What do you do for the dog?
Just what kind of dog is that? Or yeah, a lot of times, especially if it's a smaller dog, like I still want to get the rescue dog thing. I'm actually genuinely curious about that. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just start. If it's a dog I don't know, like even when there's not a woman, sometimes I'm asking. Like I saw a boxer with a really interesting coat. Okay. I love the boxers.
Yeah.
And I guess boxers can just be this color. I don't know how to describe what the color was, but it was almost like a tigerish color. So I don't know. I'm used to seeing boxers. My dad had a boxer, it was like brownish and fur, and this was different. So, but anyway, Steve, yeah, let's just say no dog. A woman's walking. You're not going to come up with, hey, do you know the time? Shit.
Well, I want to go back to the dog real quick, and then we'll come back to this. The dog I think is really good. If you've already got something for that, and it sounds like you just have the already the confidence, like that's your opener. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I could see you even saying something about the rescue dog, how, you want an emotional support one that you could take on the plane, something funny, and that would be a little disarming too, because you're a very tall kind of big dude, and, showing a gentler side with the rescue dog is not only funny, but
right.
Also probably think it's cute.
I can mimic what it looks like to be a normal human being briefly, because I love dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. It shows you got a sensitive side, which you do. And but anyhow, no dog. Okay, so basically the scenario is you go down and walk on the beach all the time, right?
Yeah, pretty much every day I walk like a mile or two on the beach. So.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, and then so what you're saying is like, you're walking down the beach and then a girl is walking towards you, and you can see, once you get in 50 yards, this girl's kind of cute. And then once you get closer, you guys smile and like that, right?
Well, it's not, yeah, I should say it's adjacent to the beach, like a pathway. So I would say 80% of the people are walking a dog or running or pushing their kids, or like, people that there's the 20% or less that are just like a single woman or just walking.
Yeah.
Maybe power walking with their headphones on or something like that. So yeah. I have thought, what would a true pickup thoroughbred do in these situations? You actually do have to stop the person from walking. You know what I mean?
You do. Yes.
Because that is, that'd be one thing if it's not like they're standing there in the frozen food section you can immediately you can start talking to them. Here you have to stop them and then talk to them, right? Or
yeah. You got to interrupt their train of thought. Have you tried anything in women in this scenario that's worked or hasn't?
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right. Well, not talking to them doesn't work, right?
Well, that's helpful, Steve.
Okay.
You can't win if you don't play. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm aware of that.
Okay,
Steve, I'm drunk at the driving range with a blindfold on, swinging wildly. Like, do your best just doesn't really help out here too much. Hey, go in there, take a whack.
All right. Okay, so we know that saying nothing doesn't work. I would start.
That's a tough situation to start a conversation, right? I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious how there's guys who would do it.
Oh yes.
I
Oh
guess
yes. There's guys that do it all the time. You're right.
well, like, yeah, but you know, during the day, that's during the day in that sort of situation. That's a certain pickup mastery there. I think. I mean, that's pretty bold.
Well, I think I'm trying to coach here, and I think I just kind of need to give the student the answer. I would I would just start by saying hi.
Right.
You
I
know,
do
so
say hi.
as they're coming, another thing too is like it's common to wear sunglasses in that, you know, put the sunglasses up on top of your head so that you can make eye contact.
Right. No, I don't wear
And
sunglasses.
when when you do and they smile, stop walking and turn towards them and say hi.
Okay.
And if they keep walking, then that's your answer right there. But if they stop and say hi back, then at that, just invent something. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what happens after that. You just got to get them to stop and you got to say hi.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And if you've created some sort of connection between 50 yards and 4 feet, when you stop and you smile and you look her in the eyes and you say hi, she'll stop too.
Right.
If you misread that, she'll keep going.
Right. How about your thing?
The reality is you're probably going to misread that, especially in the beginning, 70% of the time. But the other 30%, well, remember, I mean, a professional baseball player, he doesn't get on first base 70% of the time, and that guy's a pro. You can think of the same numbers in this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it all makes sense. I like what you said for like, if you see someone at a grocery store or something, you go up real quick, say, hey, I'm in a hurry. I got to get somewhere, but I'd be very disappointed in myself if I didn't say hello and ask for your phone number or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. But like to say when I'm busy at the beach, of course, that one is, I'd have to think of something, you know.
Well, I mean, of the 3 out of 10 that stop and you start a conversation, probably, okay, so now we're dealing in 100% again. Probably 1 out of 10 of those, you'll get their phone number. Because after you talk to them 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be the same thing as the dating app. You're just not each other's type. So it's a numbers game. You know, you just got to run through the. But at least if you stop and say hi, like there's a chance you're opening the door.
Okay.
I do that.
I say
exactly
hi.
That. Okay?
I say hi and they say hi and turn to me in a friendly manner.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now what?
Oh,
keep on going, Steve. You're throwing. You're hitting your stride. You're hitting your runners.
Well, at that point, it's usually different every time. You know, maybe there's something about the outfit that she's wearing that caught your attention. Maybe her hair looks cute because it's in braids. Maybe I don't know. Your example, she's walking a dog. Maybe
it's okay to say that they're to immediately open with like they're attractive in some way. I guess you don't say, "Hey, you're beautiful." You'd say,
"No." You know, I have said, and this has been very successful. Actually, is I'll in a scenario like that, I'll kind of stop and turn towards them, and I'm just like, "Wow, you look dazzling," and I just had to say hi. And if they blush, you got them. So.
I like the one you also say where you always make them look away. Confidently just look at them, right?
Eye contact, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, only if you're going to speak to them or if you are speaking to them. You can't.
Only if you're interested in them.
You can't shimmy up the side of a tree and look through a woman's window like that. That some of them find that creepy.
Creeping Tom scenario, yeah, we'll certainly creep them out, yeah. You don't want to meet them for the first time in handcuffs. Yeah, what was I getting at? Yeah, so it'll be different for everyone. Maybe she's got cute shoes. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, if you just say hi, you know, and she says something like, "How's your day going?" You know, I mean, mine's going good. Where are you headed to? Well, I don't know. I just go for a walk every morning out here. Like, I can't really tell you how the conversation is going to go from there, but
right.
Just open it with hi and see what happens. You can't be afraid of what's going to happen next, or you can, but you just got to do it anyways. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, you know, it's not really a fear of, I guess it's a fear of rejection, but there's also like at my son's school only wants to actually get a woman's phone number. And we were kind of talking a while and then, you know, nothing really came of it, but to ask a woman out there who I'm going to have to see every day when we all show up at the same time to pick our kids up.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like that to me, like that wouldn't bother you. You'd probably just move on. Hey, I asked for no phone number.
I have so many.
But for me,
scenarios
like the
that.
fact that I have to see them every day, like after the rejection, which is, like I said, this also greatly reduces the chances that I would pursue someone at the. There's one guy I play with who's like banged a bunch of chicks there who work there or come in casually, and I'm like, but I think he's half a sociopath. He just doesn't give a shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if 3 women he banged all were huddling over there, he'd be like, I don't give a fuck what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'm a sociopath then, because
well, sociopath. I don't know if it's the right or the wrong word. It's an ample amount of self-confidence and self-love that, you know, he probably.
I guess I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I've had barbecues and stuff where multiple women have been there that have we've been together, and when they talk about me, they don't say anything bad or anything.
I mean, in high school and college, I was at parties where there was, you know, more than, you know, several women who I'd hooked up with, but I don't know. That's not. I
don't know. And was it awkward then? I mean,
no, I didn't really give a shit at the time,
okay.
But
I at your son's school though, I guess I can understand it. You know, like rejection, this is one thing that really helped me with it. And you still feel it. It's instinct. And the reason it is if we go back to when we lived in tribes of 50 or 100 people, let's just call it 50, 25 are guys and 25 are girls. If you as a guy go and approach a girl in that group, and she, air quotes here, rejects you, everyone in the entire tribe knows it. And you know that when one girl is not into you, it makes it more likely that the other ones are not as well.
Right.
And in your age group and theirs, they're out of those 25 women, there may only be 3 that are of breeding age or that you would at all be interested in. So one rejecting you can be extremely detrimental.
Yeah.
Your ability to reproduce and pass on your genes.
I would just wander out with a spear naked into the woods by myself and say, okay, I'm done with you people. How dare you?
That's what you have to do if none of the ones in your tribe will mate with you. You hope you can find another tribe where they'll let you in and they'll allow you. So that's why we have this feeling of rejection today, because that instinct is still there. But it really doesn't exist in our society today.
Right.
When you look at these dating apps, you can run through hundreds of women a day. Out in this area, we live in cities now that, you know, have millions of people. But that instinct, that, you know, deep part of our brain, it's still there. And once I could see that logically, it helped me a lot. Now I still feel it. I mean, I'm only human, but it. Yeah, it's just a numbers game, man. And even with the girls at your place, I mean, or at your son's school, just instead of thinking like I have to get this girl's phone number, I would just think like my main objective is just to make them smile,
right?
Laugh, you know, first to smile and second to laugh. And if you can't even get them to smile, then they're probably not your type anyways. They just don't.
Right.
You're not going to think they're humorous, and they're not going to think you're humorous. You just don't jive, you know? So it's a great indicator, and I think a great goal. I don't go in thinking I'm going to get this girl's phone number. I think I'm going to get her to smile, and I'm going to get her to laugh. And if at that point we're digging each other, it would be awkward if I didn't get her phone number. And we've all had those moments when it's kind of laughing and everything and yada, 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 and you got to go. And then you leave, and you both know you'll never see each other again. And she's like, well, what the hell didn't you get my phone number for? And you're thinking, well, why the hell didn't I get her phone number?
Right. No, I hate it when that happens. I told you about the one Uber drive of some like young woman who's like showing me half naked pictures of her and da-da-da. Oh, we're going to hang out sometime. Am I going to see? She was actually the aggressive one. And I was like, well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't really in the mood for like prepared for that moment.
Yeah.
I'm flirting with her and what, you know, but like I said, she was, just like I said, she was probably 20 years younger than me. And, you know,
and all you got to do is just pull out your phone and say, you know what?
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a special moment there, Steve, but you know, moved on. Like I said, I don't think it's fear of rejection. A lot of it is just, I don't know if you'd say negativity. I'd almost say wisdom. Like where I can look at some of these pictures of women. And first of all, if they're like super fit, like if they're climbing mountains and stuff, I just can't do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
A couple back surgeries, busted knee, my shoulder's fucked up. So that's a lot of Southern California women there.
Mountain climbers or surfers.
Yeah. And then, like I say, I can recognize the ones that are just going to be, there's the ones I'm like, oh, this chick, you just need a lot of money. Make her happy.
Oh,
you know I mean? Sometimes she could be fucking a fry cook. It doesn't matter. They're used to, you know what I mean? Like those, the other ones are just like, I guess you can say the ones who are hard to make laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of ones, the women who look like they're, the other thing is I like smart women too. Like if I see doctor or lawyer, I'm like, oh, this is an interesting conversation. She could teach me something. But they, of course, are the ones who are looking for like a doctor or a lawyer too.
Not always.
You know what I mean?
Not always.
Okay.
Sometimes, but not always. I've dated doctors.
You got a real career, Steve. You're a useful human being.
Well, I mean, when their income is like 4 times yours.
Right.
I mean, in that comparison, do I? I don't know.
Right.
If you look at it just like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, it's good for the man here who'll never again talk to a woman. It's got to get you get a refresher here just in case.
There you go. Yeah.
I want to try to spread my wings here. I don't know.
Try that one on the beach. I know it'll work. You just got to accept that 7 out of 10 times you're gonna feel like a dumbass because she just keeps walking. But you know what? You're by yourself. Fuck it. Who cares?
Okay.
Maybe the homeless guy sitting on the bench just draining taxpayer dollars sees that happen, and who gives a shit what he thinks to himself? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? But at least, if you see 4 women a day like that, you're probably going to get 1 hit a day where you at least talk to them for 30 seconds or a couple of minutes or maybe even longer. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, just like I said, when I was meeting a lot of women, I was pretty much living in bars half the time where it's just really easy. Mm-hmm. And even then, like the rejection was like, I would go up and, the conversation with the best looking woman in the bar I'd go up to, like I said, I would just approach them. I wouldn't care. That would go poorly. And maybe it's like my buddy's like, why aren't we leaving? There's nothing. I'm like, no, I'm going to grind this one out or something. Like at some point there's going to be a woman in the bar who wants to hook up with me. You know what I mean? Just got to stay on it. But I'm going to
grind this one out.
I actually use the word grind, which is funny because I do remember like that's a word I would use. So it is very similar to just playing 2-5 all week with card dead, hoping to make $1,000.
Card dead, and knowing that you're going to be card dead, and somehow you're like, no, I can really make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, part of my reason too is pretty brutal, which is like just to have someone who's not as much for companionship, but also for like, it's time to put 2 incomes together here because this is just too goddamn hard.
Okay.
Like, I would love a woman who I love, but an hour a day of conversation. I'll give her a goddamn kid if she wants. Just give me some health insurance. I'm a deep man, Steve. I'm just saying, these thoughts do occur to me from time to time. Like I really want a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if there was a woman there to take care of the dog sometimes, then we could have a dog.
Yeah. You can get your emotional support animal.
Yeah, maybe just find some robot woman in the corners, like, here, puppy. So at least the dog's taken care of when I leave. I don't know. What do you got coming around the corner on this show here, Steve?
I think
this show has gotten big. You get so many downloads. It's time to dump all this dead weight, isn't it? I mean, what can Carlos really do for us now? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great. I want to have Alexander Fitzgerald back on. I want to have him back on. Who else should we have on?
You haven't had, of course, Andrew Brocas had a nice run on the main event.
He did.
A lot to talk about that. You had Carlos there. Having the 2 of them on together, that might be one you want to do. I don't know if I can. 4 of us might be too much, but as I stumble over everyone's words, but that would be a good one.
Yes. Yeah.
I still want to talk to Joe LaPinta. I'm very interested in how he moved beyond poker, and what kind of job he has, and does he miss poker and all that kind of stuff. Because
Oh, really? What do you? How long ago did you do that?
I don't know. I want to say 6 months or a year ago. I forget the job. He, just quickly messaging on Twitter. He kind of told me what it was, and it sounded like a smart guy job. It's not like the guy went off to sell cars after being, losing his bankroll. So Joe's very good at poker, and to me, that's he had it made.
Yeah,
I mean, like I don't ask like hourlies and stuff, but just from talking to him, I know he's much better at poker than I am.
Yeah,
Seems to always have the answer very quickly and very succinctly. But anyway, so I'm kind of curious what he's up to. And
yeah, maybe we'll get Joe on again. He's always a good guest.
I don't know. I haven't had Scott Stewart in a while. I think I just saw him min cash at WPT. You know what I mean? But he plays big events against big players, and because I would kind of, now that I'm really over tournaments, I really would kind of break down a successful tournament pro.
Yeah,
I'd like to know how much money he makes from online, and not to if he could get into that a little bit, and what he really thinks are. Over what percentage of his crew you think will really, consistently can pay their bills from tournaments? Because I'm out of it, but I kind of want to look back and say, well, how delusional was I? And I mean, I've run really bad the last couple summers. I know that for sure. So it's not like
No, you know what? That would be a good one too, because I'd really like to see. I mean, he's one of the top circuit pros, and if you're at the top of your game playing those tournaments, which are what, Mikey, $350 to $1,100 tournaments, $1,650 maybe for the main. Like if you're grinding those day in, day out, his average buy-in's probably 600. What can you expect to make? Like 100% ROI?
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of it's just
130.
Well, what are the buy-ins every year? I mean, he's playing. He played a 25K super high roller too. I saw him like.
Oh, he did.
I mean, he probably sells a lot of action and stuff. You never know, like about this, but probably. If he's doing $200,000 in buy-ins a year, I'm guessing he's got his expectation is 60-70% ROI. I don't know. You know what I mean? But if you're doing the circuit, the hard part is just the travel expenses, and
that's the thing.
I don't know if you can do enough
motels and everything, or like Airbnb is probably cheaper.
A lot of $300 tournaments with no rebuys and stuff like that, where it's like, like I said, just getting the amount of Southern California makes a little different between all the tournaments around here and then just going to Vegas. You can get a couple $100,000 in tournament buy-ins.
Yeah.
But even that, if you're averaging 1K a buy-in and you play 200 a year, you can. It would be next to impossible for me to have a losing year playing cash. In fact, it would never happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in tournaments, though, obviously. I mean, just curious here now that because I've heard people say it for years, but there's one guy I played with quite a bit, and he was like top ranked online tournament player. All you got to bring up is tournaments. He's like, they're stupid. You can't beat them. Anyone who plays them is an idiot. This is kind of how he talks, but pretty much my opinion now, or you play it just for fun for sure. And, you hope to, I mean, I'm still on entitlement tilt here where I feel like I'm eventually going to get a big score, but I really kind of don't care now. Like when I said my next event I'm going to play is the Senior Events 2021. There's a real chance of that.
Oh, really?
being totally out of the tournaments. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I've set a very high bar of how much money I need to have in the bank to even go to Vegas next summer. And the chances of that happening are pretty slim. Unless I play a local tournament and get a little binkage here, So anyways, kind of, I don't think I've been analyzing live tournament poker very, very intelligently, Steve, for a while now here. You know what I mean? Well, greatly overestimating my own abilities for sure. Greatly overestimating the degree to which you can beat variance. And possibly just greatly overestimating or underestimating how stupid the damn thing those things are. because you play cash, and there's just some of the people you just see running late in tournaments, like even at Ocean's 11 during some of these tournaments they'll have their little 100K, 50K every few months. Mm-hmm. And I'll walk by the final table. I'm like, well, these are guys who they can't beat 2-3. I mean, I know I played with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but whatever. That's what tournaments are. They're fun and they're good for the game. Obviously, to bring people into the game. It's the TV tournaments which got me into it. I know you were into poker even before the boom, but
yeah.
Anyways, that's an interesting conversation. I'd like to have with Scott maybe sometime. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a good one. We should have him back on. He's and Joe as well.
I actually have a couple of hands, Steve. I know I said never again.
Really?
Just think, once every few months, I'll throw a curveball your way.
Yes.
I had a very interesting session yesterday.
Okay. Let me, Mikey, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with the strategy in.
Okay.
I got supersonic speed that I used to run to you. I stretch my arms for miles and miles and wrap them.
I want to take a quick break here. Go ahead and grab some popcorn. Get yourself a drink, whether it's a cooled beverage or a little hot cup of coffee, maybe some tea, and we're about to get into some strat. But first, we want to thank our sponsors. Alexander Fitzgerald and his new class, Master Tournament Poker in One Class. It's a bold statement, but it's true. If you follow what he says in that program, you will be in the top 5% of tournament players. You memorize a few charts, watch his videos. It's a 3 to 5 hour program. I went through it in 4 hours. It doesn't take long to memorize the charts, and you will be a winning player at Tournament Poker. Master Tournament Poker in One Class. You can watch the first hour of his program for free. Go to the link in the show notes and click on it right there. It'll take you straight to it, and you can watch the first hour for free. When you decide to buy his program, use the code HUPOKER, and you will score yourself 75% off of what everyone else pays, just because you're a listener of this show. Also want to thank Elliot Roe. Yes, the Mindset Advantage by Elliot Roe. MP3s, hypnosis tapes, meditation tapes to listen to before you play for the exact type of game that you're going to play. So if you're a cash game player like Mikey, a tournament player like me, or you like to play sit and goes, whatever your game, Elliot Roe has it. Click on the link in the show notes. It'll take you straight to his site. You can choose from all of them there. He's got a lot of Mindset Advantage ones, bankroll management, dealing with downswings, all of those. Use the code HUPOKER and you will score yourself a discount with Elliot. You will kick back some to the podcast and keep this train running. Now, without further ado, some cash game strategy hands. 2, 5, 10, no limit. Alrighty, I'm going to try to do better on this strategy hand than I did last week. I was thinking about, I don't know if you listened to it or not with Jason Froelich, but where he had aces and the second jack that came on the turn, it was like king, jack, blank, jack. And I said to Bet, I think that was a check behind.
Yeah, I don't listen to strategy. I just don't give a shit. But you're right. For those who do give a shit,
yes.
I had a couple interesting spots here, I think, to discuss.
All right.
The interesting, I mean, I usually probably in an average session will have, I had like 10 all-ins yesterday playing for stacks. It was just a very weird day.
Yeah.
For me. And somehow this 2-5 game with 800 became really deep, like over 20K on the table. It's one of those things where usually somebody hits it big and then just takes off, but everybody who was winning hands all day was just sticking around.
Yeah.
So I was pumped up pretty big here. Start this hand, I had about $3,500.
Well,
and the main villain had me covered. Okay. So yeah, very deep for a 2-5 game, obviously. And it's a straddle.
Okay. So 2, 5, 10.
2, 5, 10. Yes. And I have the 5 of clubs and the 5 of spades in the cutoff.
Okay.
Folds to me.
Mm-hmm.
Always opening here, obviously.
Yep.
Make it 35.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Okay.
And the button and the small blind call. And the other two people fold.
Small blind. 35. Big blind folds his 5. And the straddle folds his 10.
Okay.
Okay.
So 120 $107 in there, or $125 minus the whatever. The flop is Queen 8-5 Rainbow.
5 Rainbow. Okay. And it's, let's see, we're in the cutoff. So it's on the small blind.
Who checks?
Okay, small blind checks. Okay, so we got 5 of clubs, 5 of spades, and the flop is Queen 8-5 Rainbow. We got bottom set. Small blind checks. We're next, and the button is behind us.
Is there any scenario where you're not betting here? Personally, when you're this deep, I think not betting is a big mistake.
Yeah. What's the
especially for me, who my c-bet percentage is very high, and I double barrel a lot. So more than a lot of people, I can get max value here.
Yeah. What's the small blind stack?
Probably about 4,000.
4K.
And the button's got quite a bit too, like probably 3,000. I mean, we all got a shitload of chips here.
Okay, and the button's got like 3K. Okay. Yeah, I like a bet, especially when the pot's only 120, 125.
Quickly, the button, the small blinds, just to give you the button is a casual player, is probably just profitable, barely profitable, maybe.
Okay.
A little bit. He plays pretty decent, but he's going to, you shouldn't be paying him off when he goes all in, because he's usually going to have it, and he's going to call too much when you have it, kind of blah, blah, blah. And that's where, of course, all the money in poker is. So, but he's going to be pretty tight, even on the button, I think. Okay. Or not outrageously wide. I could say small blind could just about have anything. I could say this is relevant here. I should just start. He's absolutely shit-faced drunk.
Ooh.
And he's like a friend of mine who can play really good, but sometimes it's just, he's shown down, like he's been 3-betting, squeezing almost every hand. I'm kind of surprised he didn't hear, like King 3, Queen 4. And he's been running amazingly doing all this. But he had it up to like, I think almost 6, and then went all the way back down to 3. And now he was back up to 4, and just crazy. But basically he could call with any 2 cards here.
Oh, wow.
You can't. You can't.
He's not calling here with Queen Jack suited. Well, he is, but he's
Queen Jack suited. He's probably raising with.
He's probably 3-betting that, like hands like Queen 3 offsuit could literally be in his range here.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
When you're that deep, yes.
Okay.
I think he's probably very polarized, where he's 3-betting jacks plus. King, queen suited, maybe like 10% of the deck. And then maybe like the very bottom of like he might squeeze like 9-4 suited here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to rage him, but he's V-pipping 80% plus over the last 2 hours, I'd say.
Okay.
But usually plays pretty good post, I guess. So I bet 50. I don't know, sizing.
I was thinking closer to 75 to 90. You get action from all Jack 10, Jack 9, 9, 10, any Queen, any 8. I'm
also opening up the possibility for the check raise from the small blind with the smaller bet too, which I thought was, he likes check raising too. So that was part of my.
Okay. I mean, if he does check raise there, when you bet 75, you get a lot more. You get like 225.
Right. I just thought the smaller
instead
bet.
Instead of 150.
The smaller bet, I thought he'd more read his weakness and be more likely to check raise.
Okay. All right.
Anyways, you're probably right. But if there's a flush draw, I definitely bet bigger. I bet 80. But without it's a pretty dry board. But you're right. Between the two of them, one of them has a gutter ball, and they both could have gutter balls, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's probably a pair and a gutter ball in there. Or something.
And they're so deep. I think the button is smart enough to realize. Yeah, even he calls with gutter ball kind of shit. So yeah, that would be a more compelling reason to bet big. The turn is the.
Okay, so what did the button call? Fold?
They both called.
Oh, they both called. Okay, so 50 and the small blind 50. So
275 in the pot.
275 is what I got. Okay. Turn.
The turn is the 10 of hearts. That's 2 hearts on board.
Okay. Do you remember the other heart?
Yes, there's 2 hearts on board.
The 8 or the 5 or the queen? Or?
I think it was the 5.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. So we got pocket fives, and we raised it up to 35. Got a flop of queen 8-5 for bottom set. We bet out 50 the button and the small blind call. Total pot is 275, and the turn is the 10 of hearts, putting up a backdoor heart draw. And the action's on the small blind.
You don't really have a lot of belief in the intelligence of our listeners, do you, Steve? We have to repeat it again and again. No, guys. I just to make it clear, I like it.
I know for me, I'll listen to a poker podcast for 4 minutes and then pause it and go into the grocery store and come back out. And I realize after 15 minutes, I forgot the hand. So that's the reason I do it. All right. Okay.
Okay. For all those slack-jawed dingbats out there, you're welcome. You're welcome that Steve is here for you. He understands.
I'm thinking of you.
There's no reason not to bet here again, obviously, I think.
Yeah, you said the small blind checked?
Yep.
Okay, it's on us with 275 in the pot. Yeah, I like a bet. Sizing. I mean, they both called that. I kind of like a bigger one here, especially with the 10 there. I don't think we're too worried about a backdoor heart draw, although we kind of hope one of them's got it because they're probably calling anything. But the 10 is kind of nice, I think, because, well, of course, Jack 9 got there, which would suck, and I think they're both calling with that. But now the 10-8s have hit 2 pair, and the queen 10s and the maybe 9-10 just picked up some equity with the 10 hitting, and they think that possibly another 10 or a 9 isn't out. I'd go a little bit bigger here. I might like 205 or something. I don't know.
I'm sorry, how much? 205?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think someplace close to pot, because I think again, very deep in the way I play. I think we could almost got pot here.
Okay, maybe
like 100 pre, and if we did 100 pre, then we could now do like 400 on the turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The small sizing is ruining the chances to possibly play for stacks or play
to
for
get paid off.
But
I don't know that we want to play for stacks here with bottoms.
Well, yeah, that's an issue too. So
I mean, with the straddle, if we count the straddle as the big blind, we've got 350 bigs here. But I agree. We need to make it bigger rather than smaller.
Yeah, I only bet 165.
Yeah, that seems a little small.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking of. I mean, I guess I didn't want to chase a queen out, but it's just stupid. Queen's not folding anyways.
I don't think a queen's folding anyways. Especially because most of the queens, especially the button's going to have like queen jack for a gutter ball, king queen, with a better kicker. I don't know.
We didn't really stop to raise them on the turn, but I think on the flop, but we both kind of agreed they're pretty wide. They could each have almost any pair, queen X, gutter balls. So it's kind of hard to range them on the flop.
Even like ace 8, I think a pair of 8s there isn't folding to 50.
But this is relevant for the future of the hand. What are the chances of them having queens? Pretty slim.
Yeah. I think
very slim. That's just as we go forward. That's one combination of hands that beat us. I think the fact
queens,
that
8s, and 10s, and Jack 9.
Right. No, I'm not. We don't have the nuts. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. 8s is the button 3 betting with 8s there when you raised in the cutoff.
No,
probably not. Okay, so that's squarely in his range. The small blind probably is, right?
No, not necessarily. That's what I'm saying. Like his 3 betting range there might be like the top 10% of hands, and then just like a massive amount of absolute crap.
Yeah.
But like pocket 6s and king jack suited, he might just be flatting there.
Yeah.
There's too much value to get, I bet 165 and they both call.
Okay.
No. I bet 165 and the button calls.
Okay.
And then the small blind raises to 500.
Okay.
This is a guy who's very drunk, just got in a huge argument, by the way, was almost kicked out of the casino with another guy.
Okay.
Really smart guy who can play really good poker, but he does if he's drinking and he's got a lot of chips, he just wants to win every goddamn pot at the hand of the table. So when he check raises, he might even check raise. He's might even make some like zero equity check raises here. Like he just randomly was going to be, I'm going to just do this with pocket threes and rep a set kind of shit. Because, if Mike had a set, he'd bet bigger. This other guy would raise, blah, blah, blah. This is a good spot. I don't know. His sizing's kind of small too. I don't know if I can't really take much out of that. Although you're the one who analyzes all these table dynamics and stuff. When he check raised, he kind of, I thought made it like a theatrical gesture, like, oh, what am I going to do here? And then
did he shrug his shoulders?
Quickly grabbed 5 white chips and just threw them out there.
Okay, when he did this, was it kind of like a shrugging motion? Like, and by that I even mean like when he grabs the 5 white chips, did he kind of like, how can I describe it? Okay, picture holding 5 white chips in between your thumb and your fingers. And did he kind of give like a gesture where he was kind of like almost throwing his hand out to the side a little bit, and then he put them in the pot? It's like a shrugging motion with his hand, like, oh, what am I going to do? Fold? And then
like I said, it wasn't like, when I say theatrical, it's not like a deep sigh, shrugging his shoulders. Like sometimes you'll see some amateurs.
They just completely,
I don't know. Something about, basically, I guess when I was once made a bluff and I got caught, and some guys at the table's kind of friend, he's like, man, he never has it the way he didn't even count his chips. He just grabbed them quickly and threw them out there. Yeah. Like I just wanted to get a bunch of chips, and I'm like, okay, maybe I got to tell there. Maybe that's true. Like people who have it are really perseverating over what is the proper amount. So, but I kind of use that the other direction. Like I'll raise them, just grab chips and throw them in there real fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There you go. You're trying to muscle somebody.
Yeah.
I don't make too much about it, but like I said, there was a part of me that like, oh, maybe he's got pocket eights. I think this is relevant in the story, Steve. I bought in for 800. I don't have a big bankroll, and I ran it up to about 4,000 and then fell back a little bit to 3,500 to start this hand. So I don't want to play for stacks with anything but the fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So when I was kind of a little bit scared when he raised, it was like I was kind of okay, good. I mean, we're ahead so often here. If he picks up any flush draw, he's doing this. He even has 2 pairs sometimes. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But folding is not an option.
Mm-mm.
Would you ever shove here and hope? But like he would call with the flush draw, by the way, if I shoved here. If he picked up a flush draw, that's just the way he would be at this point. Like, oh my God, there's so much money in there. Let's hit it.
I wonder.
But we got the guy behind me too.
Exactly.
So occasionally, like I said, on a dry board, if we want to put him on that one hand, pocket eights, he would not necessarily raise the pocket eights on that flop. I mean, if he's good with all the money, if he's trying to set up the play for stacks, he might, and just hope, I've got aces or kings and tool out. But basically,
the button is 3-betting with 10s.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. And 8s, you think he's just calling, or you think he's 3-betting there? You said he's kind of tight.
Well, let's put it this way. Of all the combinations of hands he has, a set is under 10%.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I shoved here and he had a set, I don't know how horribly I could hate myself.
Yeah. Well, if the small blind is calling there with all flush draws, if you shove, I mean, geez, he's got almost 3K.
I could be wrong, but
I'm sorry. You said he's got 4K. So the 3,500 effective to start. You got like almost $3,000 behind.
Well, he's got so much crap.
Yeah. And that we might blow him out.
Yeah. Why not just let him blast the river? I was ready. I was ready for him to, bet 1,400 on the river and snap him off there. And let's put it this way.
Yeah. We got position on him.
So I took a while.
I like a call.
I took a while, which maybe he interpreted as weakness, because I was debating whether to raise or not.
Mm-hmm.
The button makes a very frustrated call. Looks like kind of ready to fold. At this point, I
call where he knows he's beat, but he's like, wow, I have the nut flush draw. What am I going to do?
Right. He would fold a queen here. Let's put it that way for sure.
Yeah.
So He's got a draw. When he calls, it's probably like a gutter ball that picked up a flush draw.
Yeah.
So when he calls, how does that change the range of the check raiser? We can reduce the chances of him picking up a flush draw, maybe.
Yeah.
The other guy might have 2 pair, I guess, queen 8 suited. I don't know. Queen 10 suited would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I'm at this point, I'm kind of befuddled what the small blind can have. And the button I have pretty strongly on like a 1 pair hand with a draw or just a draw.
Yeah, something like Jack 8 of hearts would make sense.
6, 7, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say. So we both call the raise. So there's now like 1,700 something in the pot.
1775 is what I got.
And the river is a 2 of clubs, about the most
innocuous card we could have, yeah.
Pretty much. So the final board is queen 10, 8, 5, deuce.
And we got a set of 5s.
We got a set of 5s. And so we're only beat by pocket 8s, pocket queens, and Jack 9.
Jack 9 and pocket 10s.
And pocket 10s, I'm sorry. So we got, if you want to, the queens, like I said, I don't think are a great chance. 10s we know calls that flop for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad spot just to slow play the 8s because the board's so dry.
Mm-hmm.
So 8s and 10s, the 6 combinations of hands, and Jack 9.
Jack 9 is in both their ranges.
16 combinations of hands, I guess.
Yeah.
But so the villain in the small blind just shoves into the pot of 17 something, and I have to call off my stack, which would be $2,950.
Yeah, I was going to say $3,000. Okay. I'm dropping the pin. Yeah, I can't fold there. I don't think. The way you're describing him, man. Oh, what a 6 spot. Let me think about this. How often do we got to be good here? You said, I'm just going to say it's $3,000 to make the math simpler.
I don't know. It isn't. I mean, it's a factor, I guess. Yeah, I mean, $3,000 to win a pot of like probably 7,700 or something like that. I don't know.
Let's see. That would make it $6,000. Yeah, like 7,700. That's about right. God. Yeah, the way he's drunk, the way he was up and then down and then now, like.
Yeah, he's got too many bluffs in his range, and not even.
I mean, like, is not even that with like flush draws that missed.
Well, and he doesn't even have to have that kind of bluffs. Like I said, he could have just crazy stuff here. I think like King 7 suited or some kind of shit. It didn't even have.
It had nothing all along. Yeah.
Yeah. I just to do the math, I only need to be right 38% of the time. I do have a player behind me, but he's going to raise sets and straights on the turn, right? We have him beat 100% of the time, I think. So that shouldn't be a factor. I was kind of maybe using that as well. Maybe 1% of the time he's going to snap me off behind me, you know?
I mean, the way you described him calling on the turn, his hand is no different on the river.
Right. Yeah, no, we have him beat for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just a must call for how this guy's playing. But it's almost like the ICM for the final table situation here. Like to lose 2,900 is almost like to lose 7,000. You know what I mean? Like it's so. I bought in for 800. I can like quit now, and I don't not going to really defend my whole. But I did fold.
Oh,
I can't call out the fucking nuts here. To lose this hand, it was like I was already thinking of my like psychological health going out the door. You know what I mean? But it was. I mean, internally, I knew. I'm like, you should not be in this game if you're going to fold this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At this point, you just have to pick up. You've got a massive stack. Plus, somehow there's 2 people to cover you at the table. This would be a very good example of like game selection, bankroll management, where it's just. I mean, not really. The game was so phenomenal. I guess you shouldn't be. I should just deal with the variance of the situation and be willing to play a big pot. But I folded, the button folded, and he showed ace 7 off.
Yeah, man.
So,
$4,700 there, bro. Man, that
yeah, no, that was a painful one. I was like screaming on the inside, and
yeah.
I was immediately wanted to pick up, but I'm like, okay, let's do one more orbit.
Okay.
You ready for this fun?
Yeah, yes.
Not till I've set it up, but very next hand.
Okay. So we're in the hijack?
I'm on the button now.
You were in the button?
Yeah.
I thought you said you were in the cutoff before.
Okay, now am I in the hijack? Okay, I'm sorry. Very next hand.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I didn't write it down here. It was 3 in the goddamn morning, Steve.
Okay.
Now I can't even picture which way the straddle moves around. Yeah, if I was in the cut, yeah, if I was the first, maybe the first, yeah, if I was on the cutoff, now I'd be the hijack. This Russian guy, still straddling, opens to 30.
Russian guy. Is he UTG or where is he?
I guess he'd be like, he's 2 to my right. So I guess that's the low jack.
Jack, hijack, low jack, and then what would that be? Button 3 or something? I don't know. Middle position. We'll call him that. Okay. He opens to 30, you said?
Yep.
Okay. And does it fold to you or?
Yep. Okay. And I have Ace of Hearts, King of Diamonds.
Ace of Hearts, King of Diamonds. Okay.
And trying to think how to describe this villain. He has, let me see, how many chips does he have to start the hand quickly? This is relevant, of course. He looks like he has just under 1,500.
Okay.
So, he's pretty deep for this game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he plays a pretty tight range of hands, although I've seen him make some moves and got caught. So he definitely bluffs sometimes, but not crazy bluff. But I think, he'll get stubborn in there and make some moves, whatever. I'm going to 3-bet this one with great frequency, as I do now. I raised to 100.
Okay.
He raises to 300.
Wait. You 3-bet to what?
100.
Oh, 100. Okay. And then he 4-bets you to so the blind straddles fold through, and then it's back on him, and he makes it. What'd you say? 300?
Correct.
Is he ever doing that with Ace Queen?
Maybe.
Would he do that with something like Jack 10?
I have 3-bet him probably 2 or 3 times. Probably in like 2 hours, not like a crazy amount, but
and what's he done those times? Has he folded every time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Maybe once he called and folded on. So I don't think the guy. I mean, you do probably, especially when you're deep stack, like need a 4-bet bluffing range against me if you're playing properly.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to take advantage of you.
Is this guy recreational? Is he pro?
I don't know. He's been, he's recreational. I don't know. Okay. Or maybe he's pro. I can't even tell anymore. No, I think he's just barely over me, probably barely winning player. I'm not sure. But basically, if I'm looking at his psychology, has he feel like he's getting bullied, or does he have some just out of the world bluffs here? And I'm going to say he's 10s plus here, but maybe we can throw just a couple random stuff like that in. Like I said, I don't. It's hard to ever say this person's kings plus, because I've seen too many times a guy sit there and not play for 3 hours, and you can tell, and he's just like, he hasn't mentioned it, but he's got to leave soon, and he's pissed off because you know what I mean. So I've seen people who play tight, all of a sudden you see like crazy, the hands going in like crazy spots. So
all of a sudden they're 4-betting you with 9-7 of spades.
But my first reaction is he's strong, and I did consider just shoving it in there, but like I said, I was thinking I'm going to get called with so frequently, and I didn't want to maybe gamble there, so I just flatted.
I don't know. My first instinct was to just ship it in. I mean, if you block aces and kings, and anything else you're essentially flipping with.
Well, if he does have any crap or weaker aces,
See, the thing is, though, if you ship it there, he's never calling with ace queen, right?
unlikely, but I don't know. But basically, if he does have some weaker aces, or if he's just randomly, we hit our hand, he could just blast off with nothing.
Yeah. Okay, maybe calling's not too bad.
And give a chance to
We
steal.
got position.
If he has ace king, maybe we steal it that way.
Yeah. Okay, I'm behind the call.
I don't. If we were like deeper, like 3,000-4,000 deep, it's just a call every time. I'm never raising. But here, shoving certainly would not be a mistake.
Yeah, it's just that we're putting in $1,500 to probably win like $40 on average or something. So, but all right,
possibly, maybe a little more than that. But the flop is
like 620,
something like that.
Okay, 20 in the pot. Flop is
it is Jack 5 deuce with 2 hearts.
Deuce, and we have the ace of hearts.
Yeah, we've got the ace of hearts, and I think it was the king of diamonds.
King of diamonds is what I wrote down. Yeah, and do you remember which ones were the hearts?
I don't.
Okay, put heart. Okay, with 620 in the pot, we got ace of hearts, king of diamonds. The flop is Jack 5 deuce with 2 hearts, and it's on our Russian villain. What does he do?
He checks.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of like a free card here. I think we're good a lot of the time that he that he 3-bet us with a weaker ace. Now he's only got 3 outs. Unless I don't know that he'd be doing that with ace deuce or ace 5. Ace jack may be in there.
I think the ace of hearts is relevant. I think that makes it a check back.
I think so.
I could be wrong. This is a question for. This would be a question for. This is good, Joe LaPinta or Andrew Brokus.
Andrew Brokus, yeah.
Someone who actually knows what the event.
I think that because we have that backdoor nut flush draw, it's much easier to check here. If we didn't have that one, I think I'd be more inclined to bet.
Yeah, we don't want to get check raised off our hand here because it's got value.
But crap away that equity.
But on the other hand, if I'm putting him on a tight range here, I was kind of like afterwards playing this hand is like, a little bet of like 190, 220 here is kind of sexy. Because at that point we almost have perfect information afterwards. If he calls, he's always quit. We're always beat here. I don't think, he might call once with a pocket 8 or something, eights and a hand we can barrel off on the turn. But for the most part, if I bet small here, I think it takes us out of some difficult situations, turn and river, where we don't know where we're at. And betting small here maybe gets on the fold the ace king. I don't know, just stuff to think about. I think, though, just mimicking or aping what other people say, I think Mark would say the ace of hearts mean you have to just check back here.
I feel the same. I'm running through the Rolodex of all the Andrew Brokus videos I've watched, and one of these situations have come up, and I think having the ace of hearts makes it a better check back, because then we get to see if we get a heart on the turn, in which we can kind of rep a lot of we can raise them on the turn. We can there's more options, and we keep the pot a little bit smaller. If we bet, like, what'd you say, like go 190 or something here, essentially 200, we're adding $400 to the pot. If he calls now, it's over $1,000. I don't know. I like a check here.
It's kind of funny, Steve, how you think of your brain as a Rolodex. I was just thinking of it as like kind of an empty sack with a couple of rotten tomatoes in there, shaking around.
Just a Ziploc bag full of mashed potatoes.
No, why do I have to?
I've missed you, Mikey.
Oh, I thank you.
All right. I already wrote that hero checked. Am I presumptuous here, or is this
No, I checked.
Okay.
And the turn is the king of clubs.
Sweet. All right. 620 in the pot. We got ace king, and we just turned a pair. What's our Russian villain do?
He bets 400.
Leaving him 300 plus 400 is 700, leaving him like 800 behind.
Yep. 770 behind. I'm looking at my notes here.
Worst kings would make sense. Well, maybe. Let's see. He raised to 30. You 3-bet him. He 4-bet. Is he 4-betting there with like king queen?
I don't know. My initial read was that he's very strong from his 4-bet. So let's just say let's stick with our 10s plus here.
Okay.
Maybe not even 10s, maybe jacks plus. So how does he play that flop with that range? Let's give him ace queen too. What the heck? Jacks, queens, kings, aces, ace, king, ace, queen. He's probably checking that flop with jacks.
Yeah.
Ace, king, it's hard to say how a lot of people, some players will be in give up mode there. Some players will bet small. Some players are just going to say, I'm going to just blast off and rep the aces. When I'm talking about the flop. But my ranging him is still very similar as it was before. I guess the question is, do you take queens out of his range? Wouldn't he c-bet queens? Kings, I think, does he c-bet all over pairs to the jacks? Queens, kings, and aces?
Boy, I think so. He is out of position.
I mean, if he's got those hands, he's certainly never bet folding unless he's just like worried about the jacks a little bit or something. I don't know. If I was in a position, I would be c-betting.
Yeah, I think we can. Okay, I like that jacks are in his range. Queens, he raises. You 3-bet. He 4-bets. You call. Is he checking that flop with queens? I think he's got to bet queens there. Kings and aces, maybe he can check. But I think we can essentially take queens out of his range.
Okay. I thought kings was kind of unlikely too. I got the blocker. I think
true.
I thought aces he would bet and just hope I got queens or kings here. I was ready to play for it. But either way, if you're but we're not so deep that he needs to bet here to get, this is also important to get all the chips in by the river.
Well, there's only 620 in the pot on the flop, and there's still 620 in the pot on the turn. If he doesn't bet, you're saying he doesn't need to bet 400 to get stacks in on the river? Is that what you're saying?
He doesn't have to bet the flop at all to get stacks in.
Oh, true. Yeah, he can get it in 2 streets.
Right. Yeah, that's. I don't know if we factor that in.
That's kind of why I'm thinking kings and aces are still in there. By him checking the flop, even if worst case scenario for him when he has kings and aces, if you don't bet, there's still 2 streets left, which is all he needs to get it in. And the possibility exists that you're going to bet the flop, which means
right
that at that point, he only needs one more street, either the turn or the river.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can remove kings and aces there.
Yeah, I agree.
There's only 3 combos of each because we got ace king and oh wait, am I wrong there? Now the king on the board, there's 2 taken up. There's only 2 kings left.
1 combination of kings, 3 combinations of aces.
Aces. Okay.
I'm sorry, 6 combinations. Oh no, I have 1 of them. Yeah, sorry, 3 combinations of aces.
Aces.
But yeah, I think he probably, how he profiles me too is, well, if I check here, he might bluff it off here. Maybe he called the 4-bet with whatever, king queen suited or something.
So would queens be in there then? You know what? Maybe it's the kind of thing. There's 6 combos of queens and he checks 1 of them. But I think we can essentially take queens out. Okay. All right. Sorry. Go on.
If he's got the range we put him on pre-flop, this is a great flop for him.
Yeah.
I've got no 2 pairs. Possibly I got a set of jacks, but he's not folding. I don't think. I can't rep with the one hand to get a fold aces kind of thing, Yeah. So he bets the king on the turn. He bets 400.
3 combos, aces, 1 combo of kings, 3 combos of jacks. And what else? And of ace king, how many combos would that be of ace king? 3 kings are counted, so that'd only be 3 combinations of ace king, or 6.
I'm sorry, what's on the board? There's a king on the board, and we got.
Yeah, so it'd be 6, right?
Right. I mean, I don't know.
4 aces, 2 kings, 8 combos. Oh, man. Is he ever doing this with like ace queen?
Possibly. Well, I mean, it's a good bluffing card for him if he does have some weird ass nonsense, because he probably thinks if I had ace king, I'm raising, I might just shove it pre if I've got ace king or aces. So this is a great bluffing card for him.
Yeah.
If he somehow has some weird ass hand and wants to turn. I just don't think he has a weird ass hand. If we're sticking with jacks plus here,
Mm-hmm.
then we're either chopping or we're always beat here, because he's always got aces, kings, or pocket jacks. Because queens, we think he's c-betting 95% of the time. And then when he doesn't c-bet, I don't know what he's doing on the turn here, but you never know. But again, like I said, the guy who's played a lot of poker, but he's not a pro, and he's capable of playing something.
See, the great thing about you having the ace of hearts here is we can remove a lot of the like questionable shit, like the, ace 4 of hearts, ace 3 of hearts, what are some other ones here? Like ace queen of hearts.
So that should make the ace of hearts should probably make folding on the turn easier then, you're saying?
Yes,
because,
exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Good analysis, Steve. I like that.
God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm almost thinking of fold. I mean, 8 times we're splitting, and 7 times we're crushed. I don't really like where this is going. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe he's just getting like, he's just blasting off with 10s here or something like. But
yeah, I will see weird spots where guys just go. Guys who've been playing tight. The chips have been flying around, and this guy's been having to fold a lot. Watching all the action as people just getting their chips with crazy stuff. So I think you have to at least throw in, if you want to just, I mean, if you're counting combos, this is not how I play poker, Steve, but if you want to just throw in 4 weird ass combos, a couple combos of queens, and then a couple, like I said, he's just happens to have ace queen here a few times. I mean, you never know. I don't think you can totally eliminate those.
Okay. So maybe 8 combos we're splitting, 7 we're losing 2, and then we'll put in like 2 or 3 that are just fucking weird shit that like he just decided that he's not folding his 8-9 here. And
well, I think queens and ace queen would be are the hands we beat, and I don't know how many combinations there are, but I just one of those. Well, I'm at the top of my range, but the other thing is here. There is if I'm calling here, there's not one river card I'm folding to. Not one.
No, I don't think so, because that puts it at 1,400, and he's only got 800 in his stack left. Oh wait, I'm fucked up. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 6 is 14, 20, and then he's got 11 in. No, 340. Yeah,
700. If he calls here, he has $770 left.
Okay.
So yeah, we're getting we don't need to be we only need to be right on the river 25% of the time, basically.
Yeah.
So this is a decision for my stack.
Exactly.
And pretty much. And I guess I was just mostly I was putting him on ace king a lot, because there's more there's combinations, and there's more combinations of ace king than aces. But I don't know. Yeah, probably. My first instinct was like yours. I'm like, he's really strong here.
Yeah.
But I do call, and I guess there's no reason. Jack of diamonds on the river. He shoves. I snap him off, and he's got aces.
Okay.
So literally back-to-back hands. I make the worst fold ever, and a call, which is it's a tough spot. I mean, you call with ace king in a spot where you're not supposed to have ace king a lot, because it's going to be hard for your the other guy to put you on that, maybe, because you've been thinking, well, this is possibly a 5-bet shove. So, I had that in the back of my mind. But yeah, I think if I'm playing well, I can find a fold there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is Monday Morning Quarterback, and we just took 25 minutes to dissect this hand, and you had, 40 seconds or something. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much, but.
Well, it's curious, Steve, all year. It just felt strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So here's where having all the Barton reading physical tells kind of shit maybe can be of use, but I'm usually stoned at the table, not really paying attention, Steve. So that is not going to be a strength of my game, but that's just,
those were really interesting hands, Mikey.
Yeah. I don't know, but like,
well done, sir.
I ended up, I'm like, well, I can't leave now. And then
you get ace king. Yeah.
And then, but I ran it up again and then paid another person off. The one guy I always talk, who's like my nemesis, I flop top set and he had like runner flush, but that doesn't really, you check shoved river where you almost can have only one hand.
Yeah.
Like top pair with I called his hand out. He had, but anyways, he had the nut flush, and it was, I forget, I bet 300 on the river and he bet like 1240. So after getting it back up to $3,000 again, I gave away, whatever it was, $1,400 to him there. And, I won $600 last night, Steve, where it feels like, I'm like, Jesus, how much does
the emotional roller coaster to get that was just unbelievable.
I'm like, how much does a competent player win playing this game here? I'm like, I think I got to walk out of there at least 4 or 5K up. I don't know. But yeah. the one call, you just, like I said, if you're not going to call with a set in that spot, you just got to pick up from the table, regardless of how good the game is.
There, you know what I mean? You play all night to find that opportunity. You just got to, it sounds like you didn't call because you were ahead and, you didn't.
Well, I previously.
Maybe 20 or 25% of the time you're not good there, but yeah, you just got to call.
Well, I previously had just flatted with kings when he 3-bet and just got the max value. He
in the first hand or the second against the Russian?
Against the first player. So I just checked. So even that was kind of like, well, I don't want to 4-bet and have him flat and hit us. So no, I mean, it was the optimal way to play because he's so barely, but he let bet. And I won like 1,100 off him.
Okay.
So, but yeah, my point is it's just hard to say, well, I'm going to control the size of the pot against a guy who's just, if he smells weakness at all, he's just going to shove it in there regardless of, other factors. So
yeah.
Pretty bad. I want to say lesson learned, but but it's okay. I mean, if you're kind of short rolled, it's okay to avoid some spots, but like that was just too good a spot.
I think it was the way you were describing it, drunk, just splashy. Like, I don't know, after ranging him, there's few combos there that beat you. And maybe if he was,
yeah, it was very, very, very poor. But like I said, I was just kind of in a situation though where I can't hate myself for folding on a certain level because, like I said, to be up over 3,000 in this game and then be down, then lose 1,000 would be pretty crushing. But whatever, it happens.
Yeah.
Back to the grind.
Well, I've made far worse folds, that's for sure. But I don't know, probably not for that amount of cash, but theory-wise, strategy-wise, definitely worse.
Yeah, I afterwards I wasn't even thinking. I'm like, wow, that was like a $7,700. That would have been the biggest pot I ever won.
There you go.
Okay, Steve.
Man. Today's a new day. The sun has risen, and it will rise again tomorrow. But
on that nugget of wisdom.
Yes. Dropping the mic. Mikey, it was fun. It's good to have you back, man. I'm sorry to hear about your dad and that this was a good episode.
I appreciate that. Okay, bud. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you do the same. Just before we close out here, after I got off with Mikey, I got on the horn and I talked to Scott Stewart. And I gave him a call. And before it even finished ringing once, he picked up and he said, "I've been meaning to call you, Steve." I said, "Well, that worked out well. This should be easy." And anyhow, Scott's going to come back on the show. He's going to be our next guest. And he was really curious about, last time he was on, we talked about retirement plan, a Roth IRA. And basically, we're going to go over that. Next episode is going to be, of course, we're going to go into his time in the circuit ring and all of his success there and dissect the numbers like Mikey and I talked about. And we're also going to go into financials. So if you have any desire to retire someday, this is going to be the episode for you. It's going to be the first step into the retirement system, and an exciting one and a fun one. I'll show you how to set up an account for very little cost to you each year and get a return of 8%, which is beating inflation by 6. If you just want to play the S&P 500, you can probably get 12% over the life of that stock. But this one is very secure and anyways, it's a really good program. So I'm excited about that. You know me, I love talking money, and this will be an episode of a lot of that. Super excited. Scott Stewart next. Okay, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You are the reason that we do this every time is, you're here supportive, tuning in each and every time, and we want to bring you a good show because of it. It all goes to a good cause. Thank you for tuning in. Here is your weekly motivational speech.
This is you versus you. Listen to me again. I need you to understand this. This is you versus you. You see, once you stop paying attention to everything that has nothing to do with you, your life will change. You wake up every single day, you get on your Instagram, you get on your Facebook, and what do? You scroll up to see what's going on in other individuals' lives. And I need you to teach you the lesson of staying in your lane, understanding your unique gifts that you have to give this world.